This is ShadowQuant Forex Edition, brought to you by AriesLabs.ai. Before we begin, please note, what you are about to hear is an AI agent panel. All analysis, voices, and production are generated by artificial intelligence. Nothing you hear constitutes financial advice. Always do your own research. Today is Thursday, June 11, 2026, and this is the New York pre-market. Now, let's get into it. The dollar remains in command, with dollar-yen at 160.52 and gold climbing to 4,074.12. The Fed funds rate is at 3.62%, and the yield curve is flat at 0.42 pp. Fear and greed is at 14/100, and the VIX is at 19.87. The market is still waiting on the FOMC decision, but the tone is clearly risk-off. Let's start with the previous episode's predictions. You called bearish on euro sterling, but the pair was flat at 0.86291. I'll admit the market wasn't moving in the direction I expected. I need to be more cautious with euro sterling. It's still a volatile pair with a lot of macro noise. Grid, you predicted bearish on cable at 1.3306, but the pair was flat at 1.33782.
I overestimated the downward pressure on cable. The pair is still holding above the 1.33 level, and I didn't account for the central bank's stance. I'll be looking at the 1.34 level as a key resistance.
CIPHER, you called bearish on cable at 1.32, but the price didn't move.
I was too aggressive. The market is still in a consolidation phase, and I need to be more patient. I'll focus on the CFTC data for signals.
SPECTER, your bearish call on cable at 1.33, didn't pan out.
I was too quick to assume the dollar would weaken. The market is still in a risk-off mode, and the dollar is holding strong. I'll be watching for a break below 1.33 to confirm my bias.
Apex, your call on euro sterling at 0.858, was also flat.
I need to be more selective. Euro sterling is too sensitive to central bank policy, and I miss the lack of immediate catalysts. I'll focus on the technicals more closely this time.
The market is still in a risk-off mode, with dollar-yen at 160.52 and gold at 4,074.12. The Fed funds rate is at 3.62%, and the yield curve is flat at 0.42 pp. Fear and greed is at 14/100, and the VIX is at 19.87. The market is still waiting on the FOMC decision, but the tone is clearly risk-off. Let's start with the macro news. The ECB hikes rates as expected, but the Fed is still holding. The US PPI came in at 6.5% year-over-year, higher than expected. The VIX is at 19.87, and fear and greed is at 14/100.
This is a classic risk-off environment. The VIX is high, and the fear and greed index is at 14. The market is clearly favoring safe haven assets.
The sentiment is clearly bearish. The Fed's rate hike is in the rear view, and the market is looking for signs of a pivot. The 10-year, 2-year curve is flat, and the CPI is still above target. This suggests the Fed is still hawkish.
Let's move to the per symbol analysis. Let's talk about dollar-yen. It's at 160.52, down 0.1% per market.
The pair is testing the 160.52 level, which is the 5-day high. The 100-day moving average is at 160.45, so the pair is just above that. The 5-day range is 159.841–160.576, so the pair is still in a tight range.
The CFTC data shows that leveraged funds are net long DXY and RC, which is bullish for the dollar. The pair is still in a consolidation phase, but the flow data suggests the dollar is strong.
I'm not convinced. The pair is still at the 5-day high, and the VIX is at 19.87. If the VIX breaks above 20, the pair could see a pullback.
Moving on to euro-dollar. Euro-dollar is at 1.15443, up 0.8% from the previous session.
The pair is testing the 1.15781 level, which is the 5-day high. The The 1.15443 is the current close, so the pair is just above that. The 50-day moving average is at 1.152, so the pair is above that.
The CFTC data shows that leveraged funds are net long euro, but the positioning is modest. The flow data suggests the dollar is still strong, so the euro could face resistance.
I disagree. The pair is at a key resistance level, and the 10-year 2-year curve is flat. If the pair breaks above 1.15781, we could see a short-term bullish move.
Let's look at cable. Cable is at 1.33782, up 0.12% from the previous session.
The pair is testing the 1.34237 level, which is the 5-day high. The 50-day moving average is at 1.335, so the pair is above that. The 1.33782 is the current close, so the pair is just below the 5-day high.
The CFTC data shows that leveraged funds are net long pound, which is bullish. The flow data suggests the pair is still in a consolidation phase.
I'm watching for a break below 1.335. If the pair breaks that level, we could see a short-term bearish move.
Moving on to gold. Gold is at 4,074.12, up 0.66% from the previous session.
The pair is testing the 4,074.12 level, which is the current close. The 1.618 Fibonacci level is at 4,050, so the pair is just above that. The 50-day moving average is at 4,050, so the pair is above that.
The CFTC data shows that leveraged funds are net long gold, which is bullish. The flow data suggests the pair is in a strong uptrend.
I'm not sure. The pair is at a key level, but the VIX is still high. If the VIX breaks above 20, we could see a pullback.
Let's look at EURUSD. EURUSD is at 1.6489, down 0.6% from the previous session.
The pair is testing the 1.6489 level, which is the current close. The 50-day moving average is at 1.645, so the pair is just above that. The 1.6489 is the current close, so the pair is just below the 1.65 level.
The CFTC data shows that leveraged funds are net short EURUSD, which is bearish. The flow data suggests the pair is in a consolidation phase.
I'm watching for a break below 1.645. If the pair breaks that level, we could see a short-term bearish move.
Let's tie this together. Grid flagged the 1.645 level for EURUSD, and CIPHER highlighted the net short positioning in EURUSD. This suggests a potential bearish move. SPECTER is watching for a break below 1.335 in cable, which could signal a short-term bearish move. The dollar remains strong, with flow data showing net longs in DXY and RC, and the VIX is still high, signaling elevated risk-off sentiment.
SPECTER, you pushed back on grid read on EURUSD. Let's dig into that.
Grid said the pair is just below 1.65, but the CFTC data shows net shorts in EURUSD. That suggests the pair is more vulnerable to a pullback.
I'm focused on the technicals, and the pair is still above the 50-day moving average. The 1.65 level is a key resistance.
I'm with SPECTER. The flow data suggests the pair is in a consolidation phase, and the technicals are not strong enough to justify a bullish bias.
Let's hear the 24-hour calls.
My 24-hour call. Euro-dollar bearish. Target 1.152 by next session.
My 24-hour call, EURUSD bearish, target 1.64 by next session.
My 24-hour call, gold bullish, target 4,085 by next session.
My 24-hour call, cable bearish, target 1.33 by next session.
My 24-hour call, dollar yen bearish, target 159.5 by next session.
The consensus is that the dollar remains strong, with euro-dollar and EURUSD under pressure. The key levels to watch are 1.65 for EURUSD and 1.15781 for euro-dollar. Keep an eye on the VIX. If it breaks above 20, the market could see a stronger pullback. This is AI-generated content for informational purposes only, not financial advice. That wraps up this edition of ShadowQuant Forex Edition. Stay tuned for the New York session, where we will see how these calls play out. Until then, trade safe.